I grabbed her by her neck. I could hear her gasping for air. It was like, the switch was flipped, and I was choking her, and I couldn't stop.
Serial killers have an ability to be very charismatic. And Henry Louis Wallace was very good at what he did because he'd be your friend.
You don't expect to lose your life at the hands of someone that you trust.
Even after the first murder, there was a need to go out and keep doing it over and over again because Bad Henry doesn't go away.
There's the good Henry and then the bad Henry. And as the years progressed, the bad Henry took over. So I felt invincible.
Henry Wallace was born to a single mother. Henry's father essentially leaves her because she becomes pregnant. From then on, there was a kind of a constant resentment of Henry that he was essentially the cause of this abandonment.
My mom was very violent. The arguments, the fights, that's what I was used to.
Henry was never shown love from his mother. He was beaten, and he was always trying to win her love. But he was always being rejected.
I think violent fantasy, it started way back when, I think I was about 8 years old. There was a whole bunch of older guys, and there was the girl, and she was probably about 16. They took her into the woods, and I followed them into the woods. It was like 5 or 6 guys raping her. And I got turned on by it.
It's almost impossible to believe that this particular experience didn't leave a mark in terms of the fantasies it would go on to develop about domination, violence towards women over time. Just before the transition into murder, Henry has become involved with a young female.
Tashonda Bethea. She was 18, so I was 25. It was a non-verbal agreement that we were seeing each other. There was a lot of kissing and touching, but she wanted to stop before it got any further. And now I'm thinking, well, she just used me. I'm getting angry, and I gotta find some place to put this anger. I just got on the street, and all of a sudden I saw her walking by herself, and I picked her up. And it was like I felt that rush. And I took her out of the city limits, and I turned off into this wooded area, and I got out, and went into the trunk of the car and got the 357 and opened her door and told her to get out. She got right out. And I told her to get undressed. She got undressed. And I laid her on the hood of the car and I raped her.
You have somebody who is filled with fury, misogynistic anger, feelings of disappointment and abandonment. and he's with somebody that he can play out all of that rage. As if something takes him over.
I grabbed her by her neck. I could hear her gasping for air. I knew that it was going to happen, but I couldn't prevent it from happening. That's when the switch was flipped, and I just started choking, and just choking, and choking, and choking. And she passed out. Put her into the backseat of the car. We drove further out of town where they had a little pond called Anderson's Pond. I had a utility knife, and I cut her throat, and I cut her wrist. She was gasping for air. I rolled her over into the pond. She sunk right away. I could hear the bubbles. She was trying to breathe.
In this first murder, we see the culmination of a very long, decades-old resentment, feelings of rejection and emasculation from his mother. DeShonda becomes a focus of all of his rage because she seems to him to be what happens when you foolishly trust and then are burned. This is someone who used serial sexual homicide as an expression of control and domination and power to right some wrong that they feel they have experienced. The trouble, of course, is that even after the first murder, Bad Henry doesn't go away. So there is a need to go out and keep doing it over and over again with different women.
A lot of experts weighed in about what might have created this, but the jurors didn't care. Lots of people have backgrounds where mamas whipped them. Lots of kids have unfortunate first sexual experiences, but they don't make choices that lead to harming other people.
Well, Henry Wallace says that there's Bad Henry and Good Henry, and now Bad Henry is given total control. This is what most people mean when they talk about the impulses being let out to play. But ultimately, he is in control of himself.
I really believe that serial murderers are made. They're not born. Childhood trauma, sexual abuse, physical abuse, extreme poverty, malnourishment, all of those things, they will impact a child. And that's the story of Henry Louis Wallace.
Henry Louis Wallace knew each of his victims. All of his victims would consider him a good associate or even a friend. I remember talking to Carolina Love's family, and Henry was sitting there listening to us talk to the family, and it is said that he may have even attended the funerals of a couple of the victims. You're killing your friends, and it absolutely makes me mad.
That was the scariest part, that idea that the devil could live amongst you. The devil could be someone right here in the room with you.